early morning today. We're going to the north of the island to meet Nico and start the morning with some breathing and then some primal moves. It's a very particular way of body exercise. It's been a sensation on the island for a while. Now it's reaching Barcelona and Lisbon and Milan, I think. They're opening gyms. I'm a little bit lazy, so early in the morning, but I think Nico's gonna let me on. Let's see.
What we are doing in the protocol is recoding our brain so that we can get into the inner dialogue with our voice. And I do this through 4 different pillars: CO2 stimulation, movement, food mastery, and energetics work. The protocol is a 3-month program. I coach high performers, CEOs or ex-CEOs, ex-athletes are still training as well. But more than anything, had tons of anxiety, overwhelm, panic, ADHD and burnout.
All good?
Oh, good.
We're gonna start here with the breathing session, right?
Correct. So we're going to be seated for about 30 minutes. We're working on the mind. Breath, mind, navigation. So through the breath, we're going into the mind and navigate that space. And depending on, what's happening in our lives, that space is always going to look different. So if I can preempt you with the experience you're about to go on, allowing the nervous system to feel safe all of the day. From the moment we wake up and do our practice until we... Perfect.
Everybody on the planet moves and breathes every day. But if we can breathe consciously and move consciously every day, our capacity as human beings, no matter what age we are, no matter what our environment is only going to improve.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale completely through the nose.
I was living a life in Sydney where I was born on the Gold Coast because I had offices in both cities. I founded a construction company. I was here in Ibiza. I was 32 years old at the time. I was here with 7 of my best friends from Australia. I was engulfed in panic, in anxiety, in depression and ADHD, and I had no idea what even ADHD was. So my way out of that was to drink and to take substances. And on the final morning, I woke up, not in my bed in the house that we rented, but in intensive care unit. And I basically couldn't handle the amount of substance that I took that evening. And I saw my parents at the edge of the bed, and they weren't angry, they weren't frustrated, they were just like, really? This is what you're doing? And that was it. That was like the big shift. So I took the decision to leave that life, to drop all the panic, all the anxiety, all the depression, and get away from that big city living, to start a new life in Ibiza and not really know what I was going to do with my life.
So what we're going to do now is replicate the natural locomotive movements from wild animals in their natural habitat. So it should feel a delicious stretch all the way from your back foot, all the way up through the fingers. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. And smile.
Always.
Next one is my absolute least favorite. Come down into squat position. So in a squat, the hips want to be at the height of the knee. The knees are in abduction, which means they're moving away from the body. My spine is tall and straight, and I'm using the balls of my feet to propel forward.
This is really a bad one.
The other one, I don't stand up. I simply crawl straight out to the next one. If you want to make it harder, you're going to decrease the amount of time until your chest touches the floor and push.
For the first 8 years of my life in Ibiza, I founded and operated a superfood distribution company. So we would import organic acai from Brazil and distribute into Ibiza and then into Spain and to a few other countries. I had my second inflection point in life, which led me towards the life that I'm living right now, where I had my first ever heartbreak. I was crying for months, crying like day after day after day after day. And I realized that the one thing that got me out of that was meditation, coming into stillness. It was literally 1 year after that where I got introduced to the CO2 stimulation breathwork. Then I became a coach with Primal Moves. And then basically that's how and why the protocol was developed.
More than drag, you need to push so that your hips want to come above your shoulders. Leave me hanging, bro. Now let's grab a yoga mat and let's come to the center of the floor. Now what I want to do is I'm fully engaging my right foot and I want to make a big rotation and bring it all the way around. My toe comes close to the floor, but it doesn't touch. Finding your balance the whole time. Yeah. 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Are you looking at the time because you want class to finish?
Nick Brewer is the founder of Primal Moves. He has an incredible story. He spent 7 or 8 years in Argentinian prison for being a huge narco. So from that life, in that life, he realized that he wasn't just in prison physically up until then, but the prison is here. So in there, he learned handstands, he learned yoga, and basically developed what is now called Primal Moves. And I became one of his senior coaches. This practice here allows you to connect to your body. It really, really does. You're not pushing yourself too hard because there's no weights. It's just you're working with your body. So you really have to go further with that nervous system dialogue and then turn that into your physical and see what can I do to improve my mobility, my flexibility, and my overall strength. It's an incredible practice. I love it.
It was really good exercise, really strange moves, and I understood where I'm really stiff. I liked it. Sweat a lot and with a big effort. Anyway, here we are. Thank you, Nico.
You're full of oxygen, full of neurotransmitters. You're rewiring your brain. You have more balance, more strength.
It's definitely a different way of starting the day.
That's how I start my day every single morning.
And you do it every morning?
Every morning.
This.
Every morning.
Okay.
The protocol.
Okay. So, we're gonna see each other more often.
Thank you, bro. I hope you come back.
Thank you for this session.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Ciao, brother.
Ciao.
The overall outcome is having your own protocol, waking up every morning and deciding to yourself that I'm going to spend the next 30, 60, 90 minutes on myself, because the person that finishes that protocol is going to be the best version of themselves. I'm helping people change lives, and this for me is the most successful thing that I could ever achieve in my life.
Oof, my muscles are still shaking. So, the first thing is about Nico. I love successful stories of change. Nico lost his path completely years ago, and he managed to find a new path and change his life for good, and creating, gathering a community around this protocol and the moves, the primal moves. I feel I'm full of adrenaline and serotonin and endorphins, and yeah, us instead, we go on with the WellQuest.